again. This is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill, compete with the young crowd. This is video 112A. Well, that was the last one that I just created, remember? What happened was I had a problem with the dogs. I had to kind of go. So I am back to continue. So maybe we'll make this one video 112B. And what I have, so let's continue. Data structure and algorithm, right? We left off here when we were introducing the single linked list. You know, the essential, I know I don't have any graphics to show you, but when we start doing like separate ones with the example, I'll have a graph for you for each of the data structure. But let's continue anyway, right? So let's not stop. So then what you want to do, you want to create an instance of a node, right? So if you created this, let's put a little space here. Excuse me, guys. So when you created this, so what was I doing? Okay, so we created this class, and now we want to do an instance, right? So how you do it? So this is how you do it right here. New, right, equals new node. That's what that is. And you created one. And then you pass on that 42, and that 42 goes into this data right here. And so when you want to, like let's say print it, we could just say, echo something like this, new node data. Like this. Guys, I know that this is like the primitive way of me showing you things with this video, because right now I'm only using the iMac the desktop with the camera, and of course, you know, you set up so that when you speak to it, it records your screen and of course your voice, right? And I know my voice is older and it kind of sucks, but the examples that I'm showing you, you can use, and all these other things that I've shown you before, it's real. You can use these things. And you know how many times for many years back, I'm talking about years back, when I wanted videos so they can give me examples, so they'll explain some few things, but then you don't really get what. And that's not what I want to do. I want to give you the examples and the source codes, you know, and just give you the whole thing. I'm not gonna break it into a little bit of pieces and then say, oh, buy into my my courses and you can get the rest. No, I don't want to do that. I want to give it to you all like that so you can use it and then you can experiment. Okay. All right. So let me continue. What was I doing? Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we wanna we wanna print out I'm sorry I wanna print out the object, right? So let's say what is it, new, what do we call it, let's say new node, and then remember how you get things, right? This is the new node, right? This is the new object. This is the instance of a new object. So this is it right here. But you need, which is this. But if you're going to use something from in here, how you use it? You use this. Remember that when we're doing the object-oriented videos? This is how you look for something, right? So if you're looking for data, remember we put that information in here. This is it right here. Data. This means this from here. Remember that? So what you do is you put the name on there. You just say data. Like this. And you will get your answer. Don't worry. Right now I'm not showing you. Like I'm not taking it out, putting it in an editor. I mean, this is an editor, but I'm not like testing it out. Trust me, this works. You've seen it already. But when we do the actual breakdown of each one, with the examples, because I think I'm going to have a lot of examples, we're going to be trying it out, okay? Because we just want to go through this whole thing real quick. I mean, we just want to know the different things that I can remember. What was the ones that we talked about the last time? We talked about two, because right now we're talking about the ON, right? I mean the object, the O notation. Let me see. And then, well, we're going to continue, right? So this is what we do. You can create and assign value to an array let me show you. We can do something like, let's say, we just ate a banana, so we'll say fruits. Banana's good, especially when it's like not ripe at all. I like the ripe one, but it's just got a lot of sugar. But I like it like when you see like the edges and a little bit of green. I like those. I like it like that. Let me see. Let's say we got apples. I haven't eaten an apple in food. Wow, banana just did. Banana, like that. And another one that I haven't eaten in a while, the cherry. I did have pizza last night though. And then this is like the index. Oh, let me write it down here. How about if I do that? You can, let's say, create and assign values, okay, values to an array. An array to different arrays. How about that? That's not right. No, I did not. This. And then this one happens to be, remember how we talked about everything is indexed, right? The 0 starts with a 0. So we'll say this is indexed array, an indexed array. And how about if we do this one? We'll make this one an associated array. How about that? We'll say, why are we putting these stupid things here? This is an associated array right here. Associative array. Okay, and then how you do that? Remember how we do that? Remember we use the not the arrow but the rocket, right? The one that look like, I'll show you what I mean. So we'll say, let's go back a little closer. We'll say age, right? And remember how I told you this is how you can, this is how you start an array. You can also, or you can do like this, you know, like that. So that's how you can start an array. We'll leave it like that. So what we do is we'll say dollar age, and then we'll say, let's jump into the next slide so that we can see it better. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, why not? We'll do this, remember, with the rocket. Let's bring this down a little bit. And we'll give it I don't know, let's say we're dealing with ages, we'll say 35. Then a question marks. See how you got a question mark here? This is 0, 1, and 2. This one's gonna, let me show you. This would be 0, 1, and 2, or 3. But it isn't, because you're using words. What the heck? Let's see, 37. And then we'll make Joe. That of 43. Let me just leave it like that. See, this is how it's done. And of course, don't forget that semicolon, because you have one here, right? All commands have semicolon. So this is how you do. You know, we can put this down so you can see it better. Boom, like that. And this is an associated array. So when you want to look for look at this stuff, what do? You do something like echo. On the first one, this one, the fruits, you just say fruits like this, and you want to see the, I'm sorry, the 0, 1. Oh, you know what I find out too, guys? That we might have a sinkhole. There's water that's pouring right through the street, right through like the middle, not a whole manhole cover, no, right like a crack of a street. And that's what I hear outside. They're fixing it. And then of course this one would be for this one, right? Maybe I should just go like this. Put this over here. This is how you echo it, and then here, this is how you echo this. You would say, say age, and then you just say Peter, like that. You say Peter, like that. And then of course you want to see Ben, you put, oops, it should spell the same way, Peter, and then the next one here, you know, Ben. Joe. And there's also an alternative too, so you can kind of like an alternative. Let me see. We also talked about this, right? Alternative. To assign value. You can kind of go like color, like this, and you could say, let's try something else, red. You could say color, and you could say like that. What is this? Wow, this thing is like, and then you can say, let's keep it caps, buddy. Let's keep everything uniform. And then you can kind of say color, and then you can make this blue. See? And this is just a way, because remember when you do data structure, you're talking about this way, that way, using the index, using the associated way. We talked about the list, right? The linked list. And of course we were talking about here about the old notation. We'll see all that stuff when it comes up. Okay, so let's go to another one real quick, because remember I don't want to make this video long. It's just, so we're going to talk about the stack, right? We all heard about that, like the stack. Let me see, stack like this. So we'll say, yeah, let's see, it's, what is it? What I'm trying to say here? It's like it's the fundamental linear data structure, because you'll see it like, and if I will have to draw it to show you, I'll tell you what. Let me see. Let me just say, before I forget what I wanted to say. Man, I'm having a hard time today. Fundamental linear. Remember that I was telling you about data structure? Because sometimes you don't want, you can't use. Sometimes you don't want to use the array, even though arrays look like in memory, it will kind of look like, if I will have to draw it, let's say if I had to draw it, it will look something like this. Something like that, right? It'll be together. and of course you will have, this will be 0, 1, 2, and then you have your letters right in there, whatever it is, Apple, whatever. But in this thing here, it's more like wish I could make a box, but let me see, like it will be something like this, something like this. Maybe it'll have, maybe that's a better, maybe I do it like this, so that way, you know, it will be something like that, something like that. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, this is, I'm gonna keep it in here like that. It'll be something like that, you know, maybe with one of those what you might call it, those greater than, something like this. Something like that, maybe. Would that make it easier for you to kind of figure out? Maybe something like that, or just without it, you know what I mean? So it'll be something like that. So what happens is when you do oh, no, I take that back. I take that back. Because I just remember, those are, we're going to be using the, see, we're going to do the LIFO. They call it, let me see that file, let me see, that follows LI, yeah, put this in parentheses, LIFO, like that. That's gonna mean, what does it mean? It means like the last in is the first out. Like that, that's what that means. And it's not like this, I'm sorry, I take this back, because this is more, this would be more the list. I should have just put this over here. Where is it? Did I even talk about the list? Yeah, right here, single list. Sequential data, that could have been a good one. Put that right up there. Let me see. I'm confusing myself, because, you know, but let me see, it will be something like that, right? Let's put this up here. Where is it? Right here. Like that. And this one would be more, because I'm thinking right here, look, the stack. So it'll be more like a stack, and I don't know how I'm gonna put the picture of that stack. I guess it'll be something like that. Something like that. I'm hoping to get those other things that I've mentioned when we get to the point. See, like that. So this would be like the first is this one, right? And then the next one comes and it goes like that. So when you add something all on top of it, like another box, let's say, and then you need to remove it, it's not going to go down here to remove this. It's going to remove the same one. So the first, oh man, so the last one that got in there is the last one, is the first one to get out. That's how, because you're going to be using the, I'll tell you what, so we don't get confused, let me just start writing this stuff here, because maybe I should put it over here. We'll say something like this means that the last element added to the stack, I'm going to capitalize those, okay? To the stack is the first, oh my god, it's windy out there. It's the first out. And this, you know, I don't like going, so we'll push this way is the first out, like that. Right? It's the first one to be removed. So we'll put it right here. To be removed. Like that. So in PHP, right, you can implement like it's like this thing here is like removing plates. It's like removing plates, right? So when you got like a stack of plates, I don't know how you do it. I'm not gonna go in the middle when I know I got a clean one on top. I take the top one. Once I put it back again, once I clean it, put it back, it's always gonna be on the top. I'm not gonna say, well, I'm gonna put it underneath it, make all that noise, risk for it to breaking. No, you're gonna put it on top, and it's the one that gets removed. Only when you have different looking plates and stuff like, oh, I want a blue one and it happens to be in the middle, yeah, you usually would go and grab it, make all that noise, lift that thing, go up. But look at it that way. Look at it the plate. You put the plate on top of the other one, the next one, and then what do? When you need to one, what do? Grab the one that's on top. So last one in, and the first one out. All right. So in P, because this works just like I mentioned. The stack and the tree and it always works in every language like C and Python and all those things. But in PHP, you can implement and use stacks in several different ways. So we could do, about we say implement and use in I hope you understand a few ways. So we can go like this, right? So you got like, excuse me. So you got like the core stack operations. Oh man, why am I itching? So you got the core stack operations like this, right? And what you got is like a what is that? A stack. Let me see what I'm trying to say. It's a stack that is like defined by a set of basic operations, right? Which typically have a time complexity. Remember we talked about the O1. Let me write this down because this sounds good, man. I'm on a roll here. This sounds good. Some days I can't get all these words out. Some days, wow. It's defined by set of basic operations like that has a time complexity, right? That's it. Time complexity. Complexity of, let me see, O1. So that means constant time. Constant time. So let's see if I can remember some of these things. So you, like I mentioned before, what was it? The push. You got your pop. You got your what is it? Peak or top, and then you can check. Remember those is empty. I'm gonna put. Let me write this stuff down. So we got the push, right? This one says adds an element, right? Remember I told you to the top, to the top of the stack. It's like placing a new play right on top of each other, right? Then you got your pop. I'm gonna see if I can keep it uniform like that, okay, guys? And then this one would be like removes and returns the element from the top. I know, because you know what it is? when you see that you need to do certain things, you're gonna say, well, because a lot of times if you don't do a lot of these different things, use these different data, because a lot of times you use the array, but when you start dealing with a lot of numbers and a lot of the information, a lot of data, you might want to change the different type of data structure, because you might say, well, the stack might work better for that because you want that complexity time to be very little, right? Because everything is about, getting time. Because, oh, excuse me, guys, let me get a little sip of this coffee. Why don't you guys take a sip of your coffee, man? Go ahead. So, what was I doing? From the top, okay, top of the stack. Returns the element from the top of the stack. And then this one, I don't know. And then I talked, what was it? Peak, right? I said peak. Peak, I don't use this one much. Or top. That's another way. And then what that one does, something, because I want to keep everything uniform, I'm going to do this, like this, right? And then we're going to say returns the elements at the top of the stack. Like without removing. Without removing it. I'm going to put this one here too. I'm going to say, what was it? Or, let's say, or top. How about that? We'll do that like that. Maybe not. We'll just say top. Like this. It'll be the same as. Let's be the same as that. How about that? So if you're looking at the top play without taking it, so in other words, you go like this. You look at the top play without taking it. You can do the stack, or you could just return the element, meaning that you return, but you're not really taking it out. The other push in the panel, you're putting it in, you're taking it out with the pop. But these guys, you only, it's not. What was a better way to say it? I mean, it returns the element at the top of the stack, but without removing it, because you're not removing it. You just return. You're getting that information, but you're not taking it out. It's not like you say dollar A equals to, let's say, pop. That pops the information out, puts it in A. You can look at it, but when you go back to look at pop, it's missing. I mean, the actual variable that you pop this thing, the actual array, will be missing. But in this one, peak and top, it's not. It'll still be there. And then, of course, you got your little command is empty, like this. Remember, you've seen that already. And that checks, let me see, that checks, it checks if the stacks contains any of the elements, because you want to see if things are like missing. Let's say, checks if the stack, contains any elements, which is kind of cool though, right? And the way you do it, let me see. So I guess the way you do it is like, let me see. We'll say implementing them. I didn't want to go too far with this part right here, but I guess just real quick, you know, we could just say, number one, we could say, let me see, using the standard PHP array, right? You've seen that already because we do this all the while. That's the easiest. This is the easiest way. So I'm gonna say easiest. Oops, sorry, easiest way. That's the best way to do it when you want to use it, right? So, but which is good. Remember, I told you because you can use the array, because you remember array has, and I showed you that too. There was a video that I did. It was all about the arrays. Remember, and they had the different what is that, functions that work with that array. Like, in other words, you created an array. Let me see where it is. You created an array. We'll do it right here, and then you wanna push, you wanna pop. You can use those commands, and the way you do that is by doing the push, right? So we already know what the push. We talked about that, but we'll say, I mean, I think we'll look something like. How would I do that? Should I put it underneath, or should I just go like this? I don't know. We'll just do it like this. It will be something like this: array underscore push, like that. And then you kind of put, like, you know, like your what is it called? The arguments and stuff. So you could say like this, something like that. You could say array. That's 2. Maybe we could just. Oh no, I'm sorry. Take that back. You know something? I'll put numbers. That way you know what I'm talking about. So it'll be. I'll say 0. I'll say 1. How about we do another one like that, and then we'll say that that's 2. This should be 1. That was just a way of doing it. And then, you know, so far, you know, all the stuff that goes there. Or you can kind of do, or you could say, let me see, we'll put it over here. Or you can say something like $array, like this, right? With the box I just showed you right up there. And you can just say, this is the value, right? Like that. And then you can say my stack, if you give it a name, like for that array name. Then you can just push whatever it is that you want to push. Get it? Like the value. It will be, let's say, like for instance, $. Let's give it a name. Let's say my. What do you want to call it? My AR. How about that? And then what you do is you want to push something in there, right? So what do? You say it like this, and then you say, you know, A, like that, like that. And then you got your pop. Your pop is kind of like, takes it out. So it's like POP, and that will be, let's push this over like that, and then it'll be something like array underscore pop. And then you go array like that. See? And that's how you do it. So it'll be something like, I'll give it a little space here. How about that? It'll be something like $, item, right? And then you say array underscore pop underscore $, my, what did I say? ARR, like this. See? And then of course you got your stupid, peak, and not stupid, and top, and that will be more like array, $, array, and then you're gonna say, like, let's say you want to do a count. Remember how you do a count? you say dollar array -1, which is cool. So in other words, it'll look like this. Let's say my A. Oh my God, the dog's. You hear him? Oh man, he's dreaming. Then you go like this, and then you say, well, we're gonna say, we'll say my top. How about that? And then we're gonna say my ARR like this. I mean, I'm showing it to you like this, but this is what it looks like when you go like this. And it'll be something like this. Dollar my ARR. Just give it like calling it again, right? -1 like this. And then of course you put that in there. I know. Once you start seeing it, you'll be like, oh, I see what this is. Let's see, this one has a little space. Let's put a little space here. Let's take out some of that space. Like that. I'm going to have to go walk that dog, but I'm going to wait after I finish this video. And then, of course, you got your is empty, right? And how you do it, you say, let's go like this. Let's say if you had like, you could do empty. Oh, look, you could remember if you empty something, you could go like, don't forget the empty command. That's your empty command. You saw that? So if you want to do like put it in an if statement or something like that, or it'll be more like something like, what's a better way of separating these things? Like right here, right? Let me see. Or we could do this, which is that. So what's, how about we do this? Look, like that. I'll do this like this, like that. And we'll do it over here too. What the heck? Like that. I mean separation. I'm trying to do like how they see it, how I write things. My things are more messy though. So like if you're gonna do an if statement, just go like this. You do something like, remember how we always do the checking of the emptiness of something? Remember that? You can kind of do this, ARR, like that. And then remember how you got your little curly brackets to do a whole bunch of stuff? That's how you would do it. You want to check the array. So like for an example, how about if I just say an example? I'm not going to do a lot of example because I'm going to show you that in those other things, but I'm going to give it to you now anyway. So I'll be some of it anyway. My, I'll say ARR. You could say, take this out, man. Oops. See? So this one, right? That's how you can assign things. And then if you want to push a B to the top of that A, right? Like you want to do a top of that A, you just kind of do this. Array underscore push. Like this. And then you say my ARR. And this is how you push it. So we're going to say B. Wait a minute, something's missing here. Oops. Like this. See? And then you can so now if you look at what is it, this guy right here, it will look something like how would I do this? Okay, if you need to so let's say if you look, it would look like this. I guess I could put it on the same line. guess I can say my ARR like that, and it'll have like this A and B like that. Will look like something like that. That's kind of cool, right? And if you do want to pop, if you want to push another one, you can do it. And if you want to delete stuff, like get rid of stuff, it'll be something like this. So if you want to pop an item from an array, it will look like this. Put it over here. You could say, let's call it a name, something that we would popped item, like that. And then we could say array underscore pop. And then I say my, what's it called? Array, like that. So now, how about if I, let's say we added, I'm going to put here another one, right? Let's say we added a C, like that. Then, if you did this right here, then you will have, it will look like, let me put it over here. It would look like this. Let's put it will be something like my A, like this, and it will be A, B, back to the original. It will look like that. And then when you do the peak, remember the peak? The peak, it will look like, look at the top item. That's all it does. So the peak will look at the top item. So kind of look. You know something? Let's save this. I will look at. I'm gonna let you keep this. I'm gonna put it on both, right? On the first one that I did before this one, I'll put this whole thing there, and then I also gonna put it in this video, okay? Okay, so this is what we do. Now, when you're looking at it, right? You're doing the peak. So all you have to do is do, oh my God. We're gonna call it the top item. How about that? I want to look at the top item, so we'll put it there. You know the end command. Remember how we did the end command? If you have it, you do an end of this. You want to see an end of this. You're always going to see that last one. So we'll do. Let's see end. Then we're going to say that my ARR, like this command, right? This command. You see it? So the top item is going to be B. So the top item is going to be B, right? But if you look at my let's say we want to take a look at that whole thing, B will still be there. Nothing came out. You just seen this. You just seen that last one here in this variable. If you're not going to use the the variable, then you would just say AR like this. You would say something like AR peak, like that. And that's what does it. Alright, so let's real quick. I just want to show you that like remember, first of all, PHP is made up of expression. Remember we talked about that, and A lot of lines, a lot of the commands and stuff, or expressions. But you got functions, right? Function is something that you run all the time. So if you create a function, you put a bunch of stuff between the word function and the actual semicolon at the end. Everything that's in between that, nothing happens until we invoke it, right? Remember that? So what happens is PHP, that's the magic of it, right? It's the functions, because you can reuse code over and over again. But those little commands, those little commands that we're using, like the end and all these other things, those are functions. Those are actual functions. They're really functions, right? So, but you can also use libraries. A library is like a place where they keep a lot of functions, a lot of different things, a lot of classes, a lot of different stuff, right? So you can use functions, and they got separate functions that PHP has, because it's like was created by third parties and stuff. So let me just write that down. That sounds good. So using let's see, using the standard PHP library, which we have used before, right? We talked about it before. Like you're gonna see it's called SLP, like that. That's when I see that I already know it's a library. So PHP provides that dedicated classes, like in that standard PHP library, for like the data structures, and that's one of the best ways to do it, because that way you don't have to kind of create your own set of stuff when you can actually get this from a library, which is cool, man. It's just cool. You gotta get to learn all these little different things. And yes, you're not gonna remember everything. So if you learn the basic stuff, and you know that there's a tree, and there's the stack, and there's the linked list, and there's the array, those little things. If once you learn that stuff, you already know. You probably would not know. There's pops, there's pushes, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I already gave you a video about the array with all these little things, right? So you got all these things, but you also got those libraries, and it's a good idea to know them. You don't have to know every one of them, because not everybody knows everything, right? It's impossible. I think that was my problem for many years. I always thought I had to learn everything. Learn the basics and learn like more advanced stuff, but you can't learn everything. But one thing that you should know is how to get this information. All right. Maybe I should put that PHP provides. What was it? I don't know, dedicated classes in the standard PHP library. That's what it is. That's what I got to say. That's called SPL again. That's it. So when you do that, right, the data set, so which is generally the recommended approach for the true data structure implementation, as they offer in more clearer APIs. Remember, programming interface, applied programming interface, and often better performance is guaranteed when you do these kind of things than the custom array-based implementation that I've been talking about when you start making these things. But you can use the libraries, because it's all been done. There is one called what is it? What the hell was it? What was the? Let me see. Hold up. What the hell did I? What was the name of these things? Give me a second. Remember everything. Oh, okay. It's called what is it? SPL stack. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Stack. So I was in the right track. Stack, I was in the right track. They made it funny. All right, so then it says it's a class, right? It's a class, and it's designed. Let me write that down. It's designed specifically, specifically for the LOLI, last in, last off, last out, access. So, you know, this extends, you know, extending the, why am I spelling so terribly? Expanding the thing called sorry, can't remember everything. Okay, the SPL doubly linked. And if you're going to be dealing with linked lists, use this one. Oh my God, my legs falling asleep here, and I'm supposed to keep my legs I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost finishing this stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna give you an example how let's give an example how this. Wait a minute. Let's give an example how that works. Oh my God. I'm gonna hate to say this, but guys, I think I'm gonna have to. Oh my God. Oh man, why is it I can't seem to extend? Okay, let's see. It'll be something like, let's see, we're gonna give it a name. You can give it any name you want, but since you're dealing with stacks, just call it SPL. You're gonna say, remember how it's gonna be an object, right? So you're gonna create this sustain, and then you're gonna say slash SPL stack. What is SPL stack? Like that. And this is how you get to it. I know, it's strange, right? Because in the library, you gotta put that. So then now when you're here, so you do something like SP stack like this. And you're gonna try to use the object, right? The actual. So you're gonna say push. Remember how we do the push array underscore push? Well, this is how you do this way. And then you're gonna push the let's say apple like this into the stack like this. This is how you do it. And if you wanted to, let's go back again. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Not only that, I'm gonna walk the dog in a few minutes too. You know, like I'm curious to see what's going on over there. Banana. This is how you do it. Now you got banana is sitting on top of the apple. It's sitting on top of the apple. Did I spell it? Oh, by the way, I made this fantastic bread, man. I've gotten good with baking. Not that real heavy duty stuff, but man, I got good with some really good baking. I think I'm gonna come out with another channel dealing with baking these foods. We'll call it the old man PHP guys want to cook for their wives. Something like that. That would be funny. And now if you got to push the A, you got to push the B. So then what happens, let me see, in this case, how about if we do this? What should I say here? So we're going to say that the stack, right? We're going to say stack. So now it's going to look like this. It's going to be like, I might have copied this the wrong way. It would be something like apple, and then this would be banana. Maybe yeah. Banana. Like that. And if you do the, what is that? The top. it's like the peak top and the peak is the same thing. So if you do if you do like an echo of, let's say if you did like this, how about we just echo it? Because normally you can echo the stuff as you do stuff. So we do the SPL, and then we say stack, right? Just like we saw. Then we're going to use the object, the method top. So I'm going to say top like this. See, and what happens is you're going to see it's going to show the output will be the banana. But remember, because the banana ends up being the top, right? I know I'm showing it to you here weird, but it will be like on the top. So the band. So let me see. So the top will show banana. And then if you do what you call it, like the pop one, let's say if you want to do the pop, then we'll say echo like this, and then we'll say dollar SPL stack. Remember, that's one we just created. We're going to see the method pop, and what you're going to see is, let's do this. So you see Apple. Oh, maybe I should just say output Apple like that. Maybe I should, you know what we could do too? Save this because that was a lot of typing. Maybe I shouldn't be typing everything to tell the truth. Everything I say because it's very hard to keep up. And of course, you got something called, you know, using PHP, the data structure. Extensions. Remember that one? That would be something like ds/stack, like that. And then the external PHP data structure, right? The ds extension that offers like a highly optimized data structure written, and it's actually written in C. Its performance is like crucial too, man, and it's critical. You know what I mean? This is really like the best option, and it requires that the DS, like the DS extension, to be installed. I mean, you can do it. Maybe I should just say. We're going to say that this is data structure is DS from now on, okay? It's like the extension, right? And that offers, you know, a highly optimized data structure. And it's written, and it is written in C. In C. Crazy, right? So an example would be something like, I don't know, example would be something like dollar. Let's say we're gonna say DS stack, right? We're gonna do that like that. We'll call it that. And then you're gonna say new, right? Because well, don't forget you gotta do /DS. No, wait a minute. That's how you call it. As you instantiate the object into this guy. Now he's got it. Now he's got all the you know, methods and variables. I'm spelling this all wrong, my buddies. I just watched The Omen not too long ago, and then you use the methods like this. Remember, it's a new. That's the new object. Now you're using the method of that one that you used before from this guy right here. Oops, and daisy. No wonder I was spelling that wrong. All right. So then when you do is you say push like this, and then you say, oh, 1. And then you say, oh, I'm going to do another push, right? You say ds stack. Ay. And that would be push. See how it's done? And you're going to say 2, like that. Like that. Get it? So these 2, you're going to see the 2 top one. You're going to see the, when you say you're pushing 1, then you're going to push 2. So 2 is going to be on top. So if you want to look at it, let's say you wanted to look at it, we'll do an echo. Let's say. All you have to do is go like this, ds, and then you say stack. No, why I do that? Stack peak. Like that, see? And then this will show you, let me just do, how about we do like this? This will show you 2. You know something? Let me just say, like I did with the other one up top, output like that. And that's going to be 2. And output 2. And if you did it like this, echo, like that, $ds stack. Oh my God, why I keep doing that? It's like an automatic. And then you say, what is it? Pop. Then the output is 2, but it's popped out of it. So when you go look at the original DS stack, you're not going to see it. Something will be there. So we'll say output 2. Oh. This is good stuff though, right? It's not a, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like for instance, you know, like the algorithm, let me say something here. The algorithm uses these classes, I mean these cases like for the stacks, because stacks are essentially an essential algorithm where the concept of going back or processing items in reverse order is needed. That's why you have to know these little things, and it's good to have those things to go to. Because when I used to see all these things and doing, I was like, wow, that's a lot of things. And some of those things it's like a repeat, but in reality, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Because the common use for these kind of things is like for function when they do like the call stack. Like the CPU uses a stack to maintain function calls. Like when a function calls another, the return address and the local variables are pushed into the stack. And when the function returns, its information is popped. It's popped. So, and then the expression evaluation slash conversion, I should say, right? The stacks are used to evaluate the arithmetic expression. So you're converting infix or to postfix notation. Do you remember that one? When you do, let me see, what else? The common use of it. Oh yeah, like when you do backtracking algorithms, that used to it's used to remember the previous state and when you search an algorithm. You know, like even when you do like when you go to like Google and you go back and forth, not Google, but like the yeah, you can say that too. When you can use the what you call it, the up the left and right arrow. Yeah, you go to the next page, you go to the next page, but then you want to go back and back, like the browser history, like the back button in the web browser. That works on the stack principle too. So each visit, the page is pushed, and then when you do the click to hit the back, that uses the pop. It uses the pop, and that pops to the current page to return to that previous page. You know that, right? Because the backtracking algorithm, right, that remembers the previous state, like in the search algorithm, like in a maze solver, or like a stack, what is it? Like the stack holds the sequence of moves to the current position. Hey, this is all background stuff. But those kind of things, you're going to see when you do some of those examples, you're going to say, ah, I see. It's going to click on you. And then you got the undo and the redo features. The stack keeps track of operation performed, right? So it's allowing them to be like reversal and undo, like when you do a do and then you do an undo. You know what I mean? That's why the stack works. That's why the stack works. And the easiest way to implement a stack in PHP is like using the, what is it? Which is the what is it? The bottom line is the PHP array. And you know, PHP arrays got those built-in functions, right? I've been showing you that, like the stack and all that stuff, and also the pop and the push. It's all built-in function, just like I mentioned before. It's all good stuff, man. I would like to show you more like some examples. You know something? I won't be writing them down here because we need to move on. But when we start doing the breakdowns of each of those things, I'm gonna have like a whole bunch. And of course, I'm gonna keep track of it. I'm gonna tell you what the story is and how to do it, how to use it. And then you got this. Let me just. And you know something, in this particular information, I will take the time to add, because you know I'm gonna make this video longer than it is. I will add the stuff. I will add the examples for the DS stack extension, like something that you can use, and I'm gonna add some more classes, and so that you can use the push and the pop. This way, when you go to your editor and you want to play around with it, you'll be able to use it, right? So we'll do that. I'll put that stuff in there for you. Don't worry, I'll do that, because I want to move on to this thing called a tree, because PHP has let me put a line here. Let's see. It's just separation. That's what this is. Let me save this. Right, and then when I want to see that in PHP, like the tree, this is what I'm talking about. The tree structure. Let me see. The tree structure, right? That's a hierarchical data structure with each element is considered a node. Let me see. What if I just is a tree structure, but you can tell by the name, right? Data structure, I should say, is a tree data structure. Where you know, each what is it? The element is considered a node. I'm gonna do like this and like that. And that node, guess what? has a parent. Let me see that. Let's do this. And I'm going to say, and that node has a parent child relationship. So they have a, you know, child and parent node. You've seen those before in some things. So the key concept really is like, you could say that the concepts is, let me see. Yeah, we got like the tree, right? You got the top part, and then you got these little branches, and then within those branches, you got a bunch of other branches. Remember, on something that's more like a HTML stuff with the nodes and stuff. When you use JavaScript to get those things, that's why I thought maybe that's what I was showing you. But that's what that is. So you got the root, right? So the root is like the topmost node with no parents, doesn't have any. In fact, why don't I just write this down? So the root is how do I do this? Is the topmost node, and that one doesn't have a parent, right? No parents. I mean, every parent has a parent, but in this case, no. And then you have the leaf. They call it the leaf. That's the little the branches, and that's like a node with no children. What is it? No children. You know the ones I'm talking about? And then you have, what else do you have? And of course your parents, right? Let's see. Your parents slash children. Let me see. Or maybe I should just say child. That makes it easier. And then you can say a node above and below. Let me just do it like that. And below. Another node. That one was always confusing me because I don't know, it's just, and then you have siblings. Like that. And this one is like nodes sharing the same parents. That's all. And to implement them, can I do it? I mean, would I be able to? You could say, maybe I should just how about implementation in PHP? How about that? We'll go like this, and then we'll say, yeah, because you can typically implement the tree using classes, like for nodes often recursively. Yeah, because you can transverse, right? You can move back and forth and stuff. I like classes. Some too, man. Classes is great. We had a nice class, right? A couple of videos of classes. So we'll say something like, what are you doing? We say class, and we'll say tree node. How about that? We'll say tree node like that, and then you got your curlies. Remember the curlies? The one that you do all that work stuff inside. And then you got your public. Remember how you got your public, and then the other one? So we're gonna say public in this one. Because we want everyone to see it. And then we're gonna say $value. And then we'll go like this. See? Value. And then you have another one, right? You can kind of say this, like the children. Like that. And then you can make this, of course, an array, right? It's going to be pushing stuff in there. Maybe we should just say array of other tree nodes. How about that? Tree, no object. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm taking a little sip there. Oh man, that's good. And then, remember how you got your methods? You make it public. What do? You do function. Remember, we're going to do the construct. So I'm going to say construct. And that will be the value. And then you move this here, right? And then you can put, what is it, right here? Remember? Dollar, this. Then you say the value would be, equals what you send over, like this. And then, let me see. Let's move this. Let's move it over here. Then you have another public, right? So we say public like this. And then we're going to say, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. From all my videos, I make too many mistakes. But at least we correct them. So in a way, you're kind of learning too how you correct them. I try not to do these things with scripts. Yeah, I might have some few pieces of paper, but I don't know. Maybe I should. Somebody tell me you should have it at this so you can read most. I thought I'm okay. I thought I was okay being professional about things. I just want to make it like, when you go to, when you're hanging out, like, yo, you know how many people sat down right next to me and I taught them things? And then over here we'll put in whatever the child know is. This. Okay, let's put this together. Here like that, look. So basically what he's doing is, you can remember the tree? Yeah, I mean the class, you create a class, you said these are publics, and then this is public. Remember how when you're going to add information to the tree node, the construct gets that information, right? Puts it into the value, which is this here, right? And now you can use this method to add a class. And what that does is takes the tree nodes, that's this right here, puts it in here, and then say the child, and then the child will be, and you're gonna see in a second, it's gonna go into children. So if you went like the tree, it will be read like something like, well, you know something, I can't get ahead of myself because if yeah, this is it. This is what I mean, because when we start doing the tree thing, it's gonna be broken down into more. Yeah, because you're gonna the tree algorithm is transversal, right? So the algorithm are used like to visit every what is that, nodes, right? So when you do like the depth first transversal recursive or pre-orders, like visit the node, then you transfer to children, like you go from left to right, and then you got like something called like in order, like the binary tree only, and that transfers to like the left, and it visits the node and transfers to the right. And then you got that other one called the post order that transfers to children, then visits the node. I mean, there's a lot of little stupid things. Because I used to say that, man, it could be done a little different, but hey, this is what they got. Then you got your breadth first transverse, that's iterate to with a queue. That's another thing too that we're going to show too. And so if you visit a node like level by level, like the root, and then all the children of the root, then all the grandson children, that's how you're going to travel. It is crazy. And so when you look at these kind of things, is what is it? Is it ON? Is it O1? Or is it ON It's more than that. It's the log. It has the log, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So like for more advanced trees, like binary search trees, like they call them, what is it? Which I'm gonna mention anyway on the. It's like it's called BSTs or AVO, red black trees, self balancing. I mean, there's so many different things. I mean, there's like the no class that includes specific left and right child properties instead of a general dollar. I mean, what is that? Children array. And then you got the insertion and the deletion algorithm that enforces specific ordering and balancing. I mean, oh my God, it could go. This thing can go crazy. But anyway, we're gonna be visiting that, and soon we're gonna understand it. We're gonna break it down. I'm gonna stop doing this stuff. But you know what? The rest of the stuff that I was talking about earlier, where is it? This is wrong, man. Right here, we're gonna put it in here. All this stuff, we're gonna put it in. Let me see. Let's put a little thing here. I'm gonna put everything in here. This right here, and I'm gonna save it. Then, of course, I'm gonna put it in the description above with below when I upload this particular video. So, hey, we reached the end, and I hope you learned something about the big old notation. It's only the basic stuff, and it is confusing. Trust me when I tell you. But I know you have. You might have questions, or you want to do a comment. Just put it in a comment. Please give me a thumbs up. Just help me out here, and subscribe so I can keep sending you. Because every time the more people subscribe and the more people give me thumbs up, the algorithm that Google has will look at that. Oh, it's worth it, and then I'll start sending you, more of my videos. And if you can help me out, just do that. Anyway, we reached the end of this whole thing, and hey, all I have to say is good night and have a great day.